Meantime, astronomical amounts of cash have been spent on this election cycle. And we're going to get over to Ilan Moy, who has a look at where the dollars are being deployed. Ilan.
Well, Andrew, you're right. The amount of money that is being spent this election cycle is just absolutely jaw-dropping. The Center for Responsive Politics estimates it'll total $14 billion, smashing all previous records and even outpacing the center's own forecast following a late surge after the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and just a flood of money and interest into some of the Senate races. And in fact, just over half of that $14 billion, $7.3 billion, is going toward congressional campaigns. Now, the North Carolina Senate race between GOP candidate Thom Tillis and Democratic challenger Cal Cunningham is now the most expensive in history, clocking in at $285 million. Other big money matchups are in Iowa, South Carolina, Arizona. All of those races are topping $200 million. And in each of those states, Democrats do hold the fundraising advantage. Notably, we got to talk about South Carolina, where the Democratic challenger Jamie Harrison raked in $58 million in just one quarter. That was a record of its own. And a lot of that money is coming from outside the state, both from large and from small donors. 93% of Harrison's funding is coming from the outside. That figure is 83% for Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. In North Carolina, more than 3/4 of the money in that race is coming from the outside. So guys, that just shows how important the race is, not just to obviously the voters in those states, but also for the party's national strategies as well. Andrew.
Ilan, are any of these folks campaigning on campaign finance reform ultimately? Has anyone ever mentioned taking some money out of this system? I ask only because clearly if you want to starve the swamp and you want to change the game, it's the only way to do it.
Yeah, so that hasn't been the priority in a lot of these races. Obviously, the pandemic is taking top billing, healthcare, et cetera. But there have been some House candidates who have said that they aren't going to take any corporate PAC money. That has become less important in this cycle than some of the other types of money that we're seeing flood into the system. And indeed, some of the small dollar donations through sites like ActBlue or WinRed that have been a way to channel some of the energy across the country around national issues.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.